Did you ever make a scrapbook? Everyone in our class has made one, a farm scrapbook. But the books all need covers. Today we're going to make covers for the books. And we all agree that since painting with watercolor is such fun, we'll all make our covers with watercolors. We're all ready now with smocks and old shirts, with clean water, clean paints, and clean brushes. Let's watch to see some of the many different ways to use watercolors. Let's watch Harold first. He wants plenty of room for working and orderly tools. Harold checks his brush before starting. He wants a round brush with a good point for watercolor painting. And then Harold prepares the paints. A drop of water on each cake of color softens it, so that it'll be easy to use later on. But Joanne seems to be thinking of something else. What should she paint? Here's something. Perhaps make a picture of a cornfield. Well, that might be good, but perhaps a design would be even better. A design made up of corn stalks. See how carefully Joanne sketches the design? Well, let's look over here and see what Sam is doing. Sam seems to be sketching too, but it's just a very rough sketch. And now what is he going to do? Why, he's wetting his paper with clear water. Why does he do that? Is this the way to paint? Well, we'll see. Meanwhile, Harold is hard at work using his brush to outline what he wants to paint. So we have some of the many different ways of starting a watercolor painting. You may outline your picture with the brush and paint as Harold does, or you may begin with a very careful pencil sketch, as Joanne does. Or you may want to try Sam's way, wetting the whole paper over a rough outline sketch. Let's remember these different ways. Later on, we'll see the differences in the results. But now let's see what Sam does with his wet paper. Sam is going to paint the sky for his picture first. He can mix the color with water in the lid of his paint box. Now, is this about the right shade for the sky? A little more blue. Yes, Sam thinks it's about right. And soon he's painting a soft summer sky. Notice how Sam uses his whole arm in painting. And notice, too, how the brush simply glides across the paper. The blue for the sky flows from the brush easily. But some people forget how to do this. Back here, Ellen is scrubbing and scrubbing. This is hard for the brush, and it doesn't make a very pretty picture either. And now we see one reason why Sam moistened his paper before he started. His colors smooth themselves out. The brush strokes almost disappear. On the other hand, Harold's brush marks help make his picture bold and clear. He also likes very bright colors, so he uses as little water as he can. And now, before he starts with a new color for the roof of his barn, Harold rinses his brush carefully in clear water so he won't mix the colors. Now some good solid red, and Harold is ready to paint in the roof of the barn. His colors are strong, and that's what Harold likes. But what about Joanne's picture? Why, it's coming along very well. And it does look attractive, doesn't it? Now to paint the corn stalks. Joanne would like a yellowish green for the stalks, and she mixes green and yellow right in her brush. That way she doesn't have to use extra water for mixing, and the colors come out clear and bright. Of course, later she'll wipe the color cakes clean again. But now, let's see how Sam is getting along. Uh-oh, muddy water won't get your brush clean. Get rid of it and use fresh water. Sam uses plenty of fresh water because, well, let's see what happens to Ellen's painting when she uses dirty water. The colors all look like mud. Now, Sam is ready to mix colors for the wheat field in his painting. A little yellow. Rinse the brush again. Then some brown mixed with the yellow in the lid of the paint box. Now, try out the mixture. Needs a little more brown. Ah, there, that's better. And now Sam can finish his painting. See how his colors blend together? This is what Sam likes best about this way of painting. Soft outlines on a wetted paper. But Harold wanted clear, unmixed colors and strong contrasts. And that makes a fine picture too, doesn't it? Joanne's cover for the book was different too. Do you remember what it was like? Since Joanne wanted to paint a fine design, she carefully sketched the design in pencil before she started painting. Well, everyone in the class has been busy, but now it's time to clean up. Joanne wipes each color cake in her box with a brush, rinsing the brush each time. Then her paints will be ready to use next time. Paints will last longer and work better if they're kept clean. Wipe the box inside and outside with a damp cloth, then dry it with another cloth. Then there won't be any color left in the lid of the box to spoil things the next time it's used. And afterwards, rinse out your brush thoroughly, gently remove the extra water, and let your brush dry in proper shape. Now let's see what we have done. Do you remember the different ways we've seen of painting with watercolors? Well, here are 3 different paintings, but each looks fine in its own way. Don't you think so? And Ellen thinks so too. She thinks they're much better than hers. Look what's wrong with Ellen's picture. You can see where she scrubbed the brush into the paper, and you can see that she used dirty water. And look what happened to Ellen's brush. Well, let's think back to what we've learned about watercolor painting. You may want to sketch your drawing carefully with a pencil before you paint. You may want to moisten your paper to make the colors blend together. Perhaps you'll start by outlining your picture with the tip of the brush. Try these ways of painting and try different combinations of them. As you paint, you may take color directly from the color cake. Or perhaps mix 2 colors in your brush to make a new color. Or you may want to mix the colors with water in the lid of your paint box. See which way works best for you. And of course, each time you change to a new color, rinse the brush in clean water. When you're through, clean your paints and box and brush so they'll be ready for use next time. And here are some of the finished pictures our class made. If you remember what you've learned about watercolors, you can paint pictures like these too.